Hello, I'm McGarren Flack, and this is my side yard. Yeah, this is my side yard where I have nothing but a ramp that's going up to the front of the yard. And here in the back is the orchard. And I just received this package from Trees of Antiquity, which is located in California. And I just received it today in this nice box here. You can see that. Beautiful packaging, nice condition. I have 3 bareroot trees that I ordered from them, and I'm going to unbox it, see how the roots are, determine if it's really good, go through the procedures of what you need to do to be able to plant these bareroot trees, which is relatively easy. I prefer planting bareroot trees. I've had more success with bareroots than I have with potted trees, and I'll get into that a little bit later in the video. But as of right now, it is March 1st. Wonderful time to plant here in Zone 8B. I'm pretty close to the Virgin River, so it gets a little bit cooler where I'm currently located at by the river, but beyond that, I have a good little orchard, which I'll give you a tour later on with. But let's get on to the unpackaging of this. All right, so from the top, I don't know if you can see in the box. Hopefully you can see in the box, but you can see the tops. They've already been trimmed. Just gently pull them out. All right. That's the packaging. I live in southern Utah. It takes about 2 days for them to ship these trees to me, so it doesn't take that long to ship. They're packaged really well, and it looks like there's no real damage that was placed on them. They used twine to combine all 3 of the trees. And here is my nice little invoice. Look at that, so exciting. And also planting instructions. And a part of the planting instructions is to soak them for an hour in a bucket. So I'm gonna get a bucket of water and soak all 3 of these guys into it. The types that I ordered, there is a Saijo Persimmon. Also, this is an Izu Persimmon. The Saijo is considered to be an astringent variety, which means that it just sucks all the moisture out of your mouth and you can't talk or eat or anything. Well, you can still talk and eat, but it's very unpleasant. The Izu Persimmon is considered to be a non-astringent persimmon, so you can eat it when it's ripe or unripe. And then this is a Shanxi Jujube. And I bought a Jujube last year from the Trees of Antiquity and planted it, and well, I guess it was, a little over a year ago. Planted it, and phenomenal fruit. I have the sugarcane Jujube, and I have a video on that and how well it produced in its first year. It's amazing, first year. So we love Jujubes at our house. Sorry, the wind just picked up. So I'm just gonna keep talking. But we love Jujubes so much, and they were just small little fruit about the size of a cherry, and they taste like a crisp apple. I'll go into that and do a different video. The Shanxi, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The Shanxi Jujube is phenomenal too. It is a larger fruit. It's one of the largest fruit that you can actually purchase. And this is a nice big stalk. It is thicker than my finger, and I've got fat fingers. So be careful with those fat fingers. And these persimmons actually are a nice thickness also, and good coloring to it. So that is exciting, because when I prune these to get them to the size that I want to have that mass behind it so that they will actually grow. My last Saijo Persimmon that I purchased did not make it, so he gave me a credit from Trees of Antiquity, gave me a credit, and I got a replacement this year. It took him a year to be able to get that replacement out, which is totally fine. I understand persimmons can be finicky to grow. In my zone, which is an 8B zone, it shouldn't be that hard to grow. But the Jujube, man, those things just grow like wildfire here. So I'll get these things put into a bucket and soaked so that I can start to plant them because today's planting day. I'm so excited. It's 72 degrees right now. Isn't that crazy? And it's going to be really nice the rest of the week. We might get some rain, which is good. And I have some plums that are starting to flower right now. And I'll talk about that in a different video. But let me get these soaked in some water. We'll move on to planting them. Okay, so I have a correction. I was reading some things, and according to Trees of Antiquity, they say if the roots are dry, then soak them for a couple of hours. And if they're still wet, you can actually just directly plant them. So they said that when you plant a bare root tree, you want to go 3 feet from ground level or above the graft union. And here's an image of a graft union, what it looks like. So you measure from that all the way up. If it's a 1/2 inch diameter, which is about the size of my finger, then you'll want to cut 3 feet above. They also recommend to plant the graft union about 2 inches or 3 inches, in that range. It's not a complete science, above the soil level. So what I'm going to do with the persimmons tend to be a little bit more particular on their soil type. At least that's been my experience. I have gone through 8 persimmons. You can see my other videos that I have done with that. And I found out that they do like good draining soil. And I didn't do that the first time I planted them. I thought I needed to plant them just like anything else and put compost in with the soil. You know, that's what a lot of people say. Take the compost, put it into the soil, mix it in really good, and you'll be good. Well, if you have clay or silty soil, that's a big no-no because it's going to rot on you and it will rot the roots of the persimmon. So what they recommend doing is taking sandy soil and building it up. So if you have a clay level like this, take sandy soil and put it on top of that clay level and then plant it into that sandy mound. And I guess what that will do is that will help it so that the roots can slowly go down into the compost, or not the compost, into the clay, and it won't drown because it has the airiness of the sand that is sitting on top. But you know, everybody has their opinion on things. Send me your opinion because I would always like to know how to do this stuff. First off, this is the Izu persimmon. Here you can see the graft that is connected right there, pointing to it. And this is citation rootstock. I think it is. It could be an American persimmon because they're pretty robust here and they just graft the Izu persimmon to the rootstock. And there are the roots. One thing to know about persimmon roots is they are generally dark. People think that they're dead when they unbox them because they're so black, but that's normal. So just inspecting this persimmon, making sure that everything looks good. Not like I have much of a choice because I guess if it was totally damaged, I could ask for a replacement, but this was in really good condition. All right, and then this, you can tell the bark is a little bit different because this is, if I get it in focus here, there we go. This is the jujube, the Shanxi Jujube, and that is the grafting right there. This is a pretty thick tree and it's fatter than my finger, and the rootstock there, you can see that it's not as black of a rootstock. And going up the body of it, no real damage. There are a couple of scrapes here and there. Sorry about the bad video quality. I mean, seriously, it's like I should pay somebody to help me out with this so that I can record this stuff better, but that's okay. So I take it and plant it into a 5-gallon bucket of water like this. Make sure that I soak them. The majority of the roots are in there and I have to push one of those persimmons down into the water a little bit more, but you let it soak for about an hour and that's all you have to do. Sometimes they recommend soaking for up to 24 hours, especially if they're really dry. But here I had this place prepared already with a bunch of mulch, and I'm removing the mulch because I don't want it to get into the hole that I'm going to dig for this persimmon. I'm putting some cardboard off to the side to put the dirt on top of so that it doesn't mix with that mulch. And here I'm just inspecting the soil. Ooh, look at that, so fancy, it's reversed. I know, right? All these videos. So great. But just showing that it's sandy soil. Nice, good sandy soil. Wow, it looks so funky when it's reversed. I dig it. So good sandy soil, must have when planting because you want good drainage, and you can put the mulch on top of it after you've planted it. Okay, so this is the bottom part of my orchard. This is where the Saijo is going to go, the astringent one. And I'm going to plant another one, another persimmon tree right here. South is that direction, obviously, because the shadows that you're seeing there. And if I go to the top of the hill, right there, that is where the jujube is going to go, because I have a jujube right here at the bottom of the hill. So this one should cross-pollinate with the one that will be up at the top there. And then I'm gonna put the Izu at the top of the hill, right where the shovel is located. If I can see it. I can't see it out here. It's so freaking bright. But that's all right. Where you see the nice little shovel sticking up, maybe it's right there. That's where the Izu is going to be going. So I already dug the holes for them. I'll just come in and plant them the same way. Have this nice sandy soil, as you saw from handling it. And I have dug into this area about 3 feet, 4 feet in diameter, and about 2 feet deep. So there should be no issues with drainage with these persimmons or the jujube. And the ground here is more clay-like underneath, and the ground up there, so the ground up here is more silty. This is a silty hillside. And there are lots of videos in the difference between the two types of soil. But I'm trying to create more of a sandy soil so I can get drainage and not bog down these, because I want to water them all at the same rate. And we'll see if it works, and if it doesn't, then that'll suck. And it's supposed to rain this week. So I will take these guys, plant the trees in them. I'm going to place them a little bit higher than level. So if we're looking at the edge of this and this is level with the ground, I'm going to place them just a couple inches higher. Because this is sandy soil and I placed it a couple months ago, there's going to be a little bit of settling. So if I plant it a little bit higher, then that settling will occur, and it should be on level. And if it doesn't settle, that's perfectly fine. The thing that I don't want is for it to go below the level, because then you have issues with drainage and all that jazz. So the stuff that I have around here, this is just a bunch of mulch. And some of it is palm tree, some of it is pine tree, some of it's wood chips, leaves. I just have a huge variety of things. This is to help insulate the trees. Here are a couple of my other persimmons, and you can see that it's insulating them a little bit. I just planted them in the fall. This, I think, is an American persimmon. It's just a teeny little guy right there. And that's from stock that this chocolate persimmon was planted on, and it's definitely a persimmon. And I'm just gonna grow it and see what happens, because you never know. It might be good fruit, it might be shoddy fruit, so we'll try it out. All right, here we go. Off to the planting. They've been soaking long enough. All right, here I'm looking at it, inspecting it, figuring out where I'm gonna place it, with the graft facing towards the north on this one. And I make sure that I put the soil all underneath the roots and around the roots, get it to the right level that I want, pack that soil in by compressing it with my hands, and then I make basically a nice little trench with a slight slope going up to the root ball. So you can see here when I'm pouring the water in, the water is not going around the root ball, it's going away from the root ball, so that allows the roots to go into the native soil. I would usually use 5 gallons to pour it in there. Sometimes I try to go with 10 gallons when initially planting. And then I put the mulch all the way around it and almost to the trunk of the tree. Depends on how I water it, if I put it around the trunk or not. But here's the second one. This is the other persimmon. And remember to get that soil and put it around. The downside to this one is I compacted it. You see how much it went down when I pressed it? Well, watch this. As soon as I pour the water in, see what happens. I mean, if you saw this video earlier, you can see what actually happens, but I do the same thing by building a berm, fill it up with water, and look at it sink. Whoomp. Dude, that's awesome. So it's sinking and settling in. So I got it up a little bit more, put more soil on it, and put some mulch around it so that it is good to go. And now I'm moving to the jujube and planting it in, being careful not to damage the roots, but putting all that soil. This is really sandy, dry soil. I would say it's sandy loam. It's about 60% sand, silt, and clay in it. So it's pretty good soil. But again, I'm making the berm so that the water will go away from the tree and fill it up. And then I pour the water in it just like the other 2 times and put mulch over it. Now, the thing that I like to do with my fruit trees is I try to water them once a day for the first week. And then after that, I slow it down to maybe once a week. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please like or subscribe, or if you have any comments, let me know. Have a stellar day.